Hi guys, it's Ray here from Man City Fan TV. I'm going to give you a little transfer update today. We've been so busy in December with the game every 3 or 4 days, with Christmas and New Year's, more and more games, and into January FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and more league games. It's just been kind of full on with football, and we've only had time to do one big transfer review, and that's of big main players. So, if you want to go back, check out our video from 3 or 4 days ago where we talk about the central defensive midfield players that we're looking at, and Frankie de Jong, Tongi Ndombele, and the guy from Wolves, Neves, and looking at our kids as well that we've got that might be coming through, like Claudio Gomez and Douglas Luiz. And we looked at the left back, Ben Chilwell and Junior Firpo, and I think one of the Hernandez brothers. So go and check that out, great stuff there. But today I just want to talk about one kid transfer that's gone through, that went through yesterday, and another one that's was talked about in November, December, that it was going to go through in January, and hopefully it's just about to happen, and all the details are finalised. So the first kid I want to talk about is a 21-year-old Japanese kid called Ko Itakura. Ko Itakura, I think that's his name. Now, we've just signed him from a club called, a great named club, Kawasaki Frontale. Kawasaki, great motorcycle name, and you got to chuckle a little bit at that name, Kawasaki Frontale. And the kid's gone straight away on an 18-month loan to Groningen, FC Groningen, who play in the Netherlands, in Holland. Now, he's going to stay there till the summer of 2020, so that's 18 months away. And that's quite a long loan. The kid is, in terms of, I'll come back to that loan, the position he plays at centre-back, or he can play it, I think he can play it defensive midfield as well, centre midfield. And we paid about £1 million for this kid. Now, it's quite unusual for, to get a kid from Japan. And when I say a kid, he's 21 years old. And so you've got to look at what's he going to do at City. At 21 years old, by the time he's finished his loan, his birthday's on the 27th of January, so he'll be 22 next week. So he'll be 23 and a half by the time he finishes his loan spell at FC Groningen. And to me, that absolutely smacks of he's not got a future at Manchester City. He's going to be part of the City football group, and if he's, it's one of those, if he's 1 in a million and suddenly he develops and we think we can use him at Manchester City, he'll come to Manchester City. But more than likely, my feeling is he'll get a taste for European football, and we can use him within the City football group. Now, we've got a club in Japan called Yokohama Mariners. We have a small stake in them. We've got clubs around the world, in Uruguay, Club Atletico Torque. We've got New York City FC. We've got a link with Girona FC and Melbourne City FC in Australia. So we've got all these clubs all over the world. So I can see him possibly going there, or more than likely, he can stay in Europe and just be sold on. And if we buy him for £1 million, Groningen would probably more than likely pay us a small loan fee to get him, and so he's basically costing us next to nothing. And if we can sell him on for 7, 8, 10 million quid, that's all money in the pot for City, and they'll turn around and say he's an academy product or whatever, however you want to call it. We're selling one of our youngsters and we're making some money out of it, and that's the business model we're using right now. And you can see it across the board. If kids can't make it at City, we sell them on. Brahim Diaz, I think we paid £2.5 million for him. He's not going to make it at City. He went to Real Madrid, $15.5 million up front. So we made a nice hefty profit on him, and that's the way it works. So Ko Itakura, nice romantic story coming from Japan and everything else for a kid, and it's going to be really exciting for him. But I don't see him having a long-term future at City. Okay, so he's the done deal. It's happened yesterday. We move on. There's another deal that was talked about in November, December last year, and that's for a Portuguese kid. He's an 18-year-old called Thiago Dantas. Now, he's out of contract in June 2019, so that's this summer. It's only 4 or 5 months away. So he'll come to City in the summer on a free transfer. He's 18 years old, so he's still young enough to develop and make it at City. Now, he's a creative midfielder. He's been playing for Benfica, for their B team in Portugal. And so he's, to me, got obviously more chance of making it because he's younger. He's 3 years younger. He's got that time to develop at City. And fingers crossed, actually, he could even count as homegrown if he stays under the City wing for 3 years. Something that Ko Itakura from Japan just can't do. And homegrown is important. It may be even more important in the future, you know, if they, who knows what Brexit's going to bring, but if they start fiddling around with the rules and that, you know, right now you can have 17 non-homegrown players, and if they turn around and say in a few years' time, a couple of years' time, you can only have 12 non-homegrown players, then the premium attached to homegrown players, and this kid would qualify as homegrown because he'd have been, you have to be basically with the club for 36 months. From your, I think from your 18th birthday or something like that, or 16th birthday, I can't remember the rules exactly, but something like that. So he'd probably qualify. So that is quite important. But as I said, he's young enough to come to City, play with the EDS free. Let's say, I mean, this is how I see the progression now. You come to City, you play with the EDS for 1 year, and more than likely you'll go on loan after that 1 year to someone else for a year, possibly 2 years, and then you're sold. I think that's just the way it is. That's the way City's business model works, and it's working splendidly in terms of bringing in money to the club. I mean, last summer, I think we got over 40 million quid into the kitty from selling players and from loan fees, because you don't loan players out and get nothing for it. I think for some of our loans, we get, you know, 300,000, 400,000, £500,000 or 500,000 euros. So if you've got 10 kids out on loan at 400,000 euros each, that's 4 million quid, 3.5 million quid, 4 million euros. So it's not insignificant. And if those kids, I mean, it's part of their development, and they'll develop and progress, and hopefully they'll be much better players and they'll be much more sought after. You know, we had players like Angelino and Pablo Maffeo. I think we had them on loan for 2 or 3 years. And then we sell them for 7 or 8 million euros, something like that. So it's a lucrative line of business for the club. And if someone's really, really good, like Phil Foden, then they get integrated into the first team. And if they're just about really, really good but can't make it, we can sell them on. You know, we looked at Sancho, who wanted to leave. I think we got 10 million euros for him. Look at Brahim Diaz, 15.5 million quid, I think, for him. And there'll be others coming through where we do the same. Angus Gunn, for instance, I think we sold him for about 12 or 13 million quid in the summer, and he'd been on loan out at Norwich, I think, for a season after leaving the EDS. So, you know, it is, if the kids are good enough, they're going to make us a lot of money, and that's what I see there's a future, the fate for Thiago Dantas. You know, you never know. I mean, in Portugal, they're saying he's got a great future ahead of him. Who knows? I mean, if he had the future, part of me thinks at 18 he'd have been breaking into the Benfica first team rather than playing for their B team. But kids develop at different ages and different timelines and whatever, so he might eventually make it. We just don't know. So there you have it. A couple of kids: Ko Itakura, Thiago Dantas. One's already sitting on loan. One's going to come in the summer. Who knows what's going to happen to them? Fingers crossed to them, and I hope they have, whatever happens, that they develop, fulfill their potential, and they have a great career, whether it's at City or elsewhere. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, you know, what you're doing. You're watching these videos and not subscribing. It costs you nothing to watch the videos, nothing to click that button to say subscribe. Fantastic if you can do so. Please hit the bell icon so you're notified of future videos. Let us know in the comment section below what kind of videos you want, whether you want more transfer rumours, transfer stories about kids, or more established players. Just let us know what you want. If there's any players you want us to talk about or at least have a look at, pop the name down in the comment section below. We'll have a look and see if it's worth making a video about them. See you around, Blues.